So this is something that we are targeting to do. So I don't want to get into the core courses and other things, but one of the things that I would definitely talk about is that we had some discussions and our faculty came up with a reasonable credit structure, which of course has to go to the board of studies and other things. But if you look at the total credit, the major is 30 credits. Out of that, 10 credits is the super specialization, which is we are talking about. But the practice credits, the personality enhancement program, including wellness, design thinking, research incubation, social immersion program, industry internship.
To take a fresh look at the standards, and one of the things we'll take a look at is the faculty model. And I think it is important to have more practitioners in the classroom. That's actually how I got started teaching. I was a practitioner in accounting, and I started teaching part-time. And bringing that knowledge into the classroom is important.
Credible organization AACSB, which is a part of it, another very credible organization, National NHRD Network, which is the organization of most of the employers are part of that organization. So it is not only about IFIM, it is actually, I must thank Sanjay ji and the team, it is not from one B school. The ideology, the idea is beyond board. His idea was not to serve the cause of IFIM, that they could have done anyways, whichever they want. It is, as he rightly said, it's a social service from their side. And since we are a part of this designing of this thought process, I can clearly...
I think this is a very interesting survey in the sense that this is one of its kind where an academic institution, a business school actually reaching out to the industry in association with an industry partner, that is NHRD, to understand what are the needs for Industry 4.0. And the good part is that there are 292 practitioners, senior level practitioners who actually responded to our questionnaire survey, and 43 senior executives, including 18 CXOs, participated in the roundtable. And the outcome is very interesting, that we could identify 10 needs which are relevant to Industry 4.0. And if I have to say one or two things that which came out very interesting, is that the future workforce will be a multi-generation workforce where reskilling will be a very important aspect. So it will not be a start and finish education, but it will be education at various stages, at various levels. And the need for reskilling means that the B schools need to actually think of short-term modular programs in new age areas, and maybe need to partner with collaborators internationally to bring in these skills in India. I think that is one very important aspect. And this mixing of the cohort, which is younger MBA participants with the senior executives, I think will not only bridge the generation gap, but also bridge the skill gap. That is one part. And the second interesting outcome is the whole issue of softer skills becoming more and more important, as compared to harder skills. So going forward, probably the technical, the mundane job will be done through automation, robotics, etc. And human beings probably need to be more human, which means the future of business education will be, more human, more soft skill oriented, and continuous reskilling. I think those were the key findings. Thank you.
I am A. Parsuraman. I am a professor of marketing and the holder of the James McLemore Chair at the University of Miami. And I've been involved with IFIM for the last couple of years, working on a number of customer service type initiatives. That's my area of interest. And along the way, I've also been exposed to what is happening in the MBA domain in terms of curriculum revisions and so forth. So as I said during the discussion, I think one of the major aspects of this particular effort, which is a collaboration between the industry and the academia, along with the academic accreditation bodies like the AACSB, is that the stakeholders went to the industry and see what their requirements are. and came back to the table, and after a lot of discussions came up in a very scientific way what are the key skills that are necessary for Industry 4.0. So I think from my perspective, I would say that I've not seen an effort like this that has been done so systematically, involving all the different stakeholders and done in a very scientific way, using multiple methodologies, both qualitative research as well as quantitative research. So I think, the report that has emerged will hopefully serve as a catalyst to generate much more discussion across business schools in India, and which is one of the major objectives of this effort. So I'm very hopeful that something very, very positive and widespread will come out of it. Thank you.
So I have been part of, as a special invitee to All India Council for Technical Education, revision of MBA and PGDM curriculum, the policy which was released in January 2018. So the idea which was discussed that we should do a primary research, and we reached out to 292 CXOs across the country in different industries to understand that what are the pointers which they would like the Indian managers to know and learn from. Particularly because all the corporate sector, the 7%, the organized sector which is there in India, how it relates to the World Economic Forum report, the 10 competencies which we're talking about. Now in that journey, IFIM and NHRD came together. We followed it up with the roundtables at Bombay, Delhi and Bangalore, and did a focus group discussion talking about what are the ideas which will help our managers and our students to bridge the gap. Because ultimately it is us, we are going to hand over the baton to our future generations. So that was the basis on which this exercise was conducted. And it is really heartening to see what Mr. Robinson talked about it, and what Dr. Parasuraman talked about it. And with each one of you, our only humble submission is that as we take it to the larger stakeholders, whether it is academia or industry and the government, it is our humble request is you take it to your viewers, and through your channel we would like to thank you for this initiative, because it will help each one of us, our own kids, our own family members, our own society, to align better with not only the aspirations and competencies which should be present in them, they become more employable in India, but with the global realistic parameters. Please, thank you very much.